In this video, I will go over 10 tips on how to improve your cross. Alright, the first tip is to be able to solve your cross on the bottom. Now, normally you would solve it on the top, but that requires you to do a rotation afterwards. Now, this rotation may not seem like much, but trust me, when you get to faster levels, it will take up quite a bit of time. So you want to be able to plan out a way to solve your cross on the bottom. So for example, this one is attached to each edge. So we can bring that down, and then this, and then that, and so on. You can figure it out from there. Just know that that is a very crucial step to getting your cross faster, is being able to plan out all of your moves with the white center on the bottom, so that way you don't have to do a rotation afterwards. And if you get an easy enough case, you can also predict your first F2L pair in advance. Number 2 is the 3-move insert. Now this is sort of an algorithm, but not really. This is when your piece is on top. Now, if the white sticker is facing up and needs to go down here, I'm sure you know what to do. It's just an R2 for this case. But if you have a case like this, where it's not facing up, then how you would insert it is position it to where it's like in the front, and this is on the right side here. And what you would do is bring this here, and then bring this down to the cross, and then bring this edge back. And that's the 3-move insert. Number 3 is to use one piece to insert another one. So here, these two are solved, and this one needs to go down, and this one is the case that we talked about last time. So instead of bringing this one down and then doing the 3-move insert, what you could do instead is bring this here and then drop this down and then bring that down. So that's kind of what I mean by using one piece to insert another piece. Let me give you another example. Here we have blue solved, and red needs to go down as well as green, and then orange is here. So how I would do this is I would move this out of the way and bring red down, and then I would use green to insert orange more efficiently by doing the same thing as last time, by bringing this down and then bringing this down, and that's how I would solve that. Number 4, ignore the centers until the very end. So here, this is red, is connected to white, however it's orange here. So what we could do is, instead of like doing a D2 and then moving on from there, what we could also do is notice that green and blue are opposites, and just connect those two, and we would just connect all of the opposite colors. So here we could just bring this down, and then at the very end we just connect it to all of the centers and begin F2L. Now this seems very simple, but for some beginners, they have a hard time getting used to it. So just remember to ignore the centers until the very end. And this also brings me into the next topic. Number 5, remember the color scheme. Now, you may already know that blue and green are opposites, red and yellow are opposites, and orange and red are opposites. But what are they in relation to each other? Well, what you could do is just look at the centers to find out what color scheme, but wouldn't it be faster just to already know which piece goes where? Well, that's what I'm going to go over. So if you hold white on the left here, then the color scheme is blue, orange, green, red. So how you could remember this is through a word, like for example, bulgur, that works as well. or just any acronym you want. So here, let's see, we could use this piece to insert into here, and then we could just bring blue opposite, and then just insert orange. So remembering the color scheme is pretty important. However, if you want, you could just look at the centers. However, that does take a little bit of time away from inspection. Now, I'll talk about inspection after I talk about this next topic, which is number 6. Move the cross, not the piece. So here, we could do these two, and then this last one into here. So, but how would we insert this one here? Well, we could do this, and then do the 3-move insert, or we could just move the cross here, bring this blue down, and then bring it all back. It's that simple, but again, some people do still tend to struggle with this a little bit. But just remember, you can move this cross and just adjust the centers at the very end. That's typically what you want your last step to be. Number 7, plan the entire cross during inspection. Now, this seems very hard at first, but you can get used to it after a while. Now, basically what inspection is it is a 15-second phase before you turn the cube, where you get to look at the cube and you normally plan out your first few moves for most puzzles. Looking at you 2x2. Anyways, so what you want to do is to be able to plan out the entire cross during this 15-second phase. I do recommend, though, that when you're starting out, you take more than 15 seconds, because if you restrict yourself to just 15 seconds every time, then you won't really improve that much at planning out the whole cross. So just take more than 15 seconds to plan out your cross. So for example, on this scramble, we could bring this orange down here, and since we already know the color scheme, orange, green, red, that works. And we could bring this orange down here and then into here, and then from here we could just move this orange and do the 3-move insert. And then just align the centers at the end. So just work on it a little bit every day. Just work on being able to plan the cross during inspection, so that way you don't have to pause in between solving some of the cross pieces. However, when you do get good enough, do try to restrict yourself to 15 seconds, but I'd only recommend this when you're at a phase when you can consistently solve the cross in, say, under 20 seconds every time. So, let's move on to the next one, which is watch example solves. Now, I'm not really the best cuber around, so I'm not gonna give you any example solves, but I will link some in the description below somewhere. I'll link a few of those. For example, Felix Zemdegs, on his YouTube channel, he has some really good cross example videos. And basically, just hold your cube and just watch the video and just kind of take notes if you need to, you know, get a paper and pencil and just take notes of what they tell you, their own cross tips that they use. So it's just really useful to get some tips from the pros. However, you need to do more than just watching, which brings me to number 9. I think that's what number we're on. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each day just practicing the cross. So what I sometimes do is I just hand scramble the cube until it looks good, and then I just try to plan out the whole thing. So let's see. You could bring this here, and then this here. That would be the wrong color scheme. So you just try to plan out the whole thing during inspection, and yeah, just see how far you can get. So So yeah, you only need to spend a few minutes because cross is such a short part that I'd recommend spending 5 to 10 minutes a day just doing the cross. Once you're done with the cross, just hand scramble it. You don't really need an app for just the cross. So yeah, just spend a little bit every day on just the cross. That's really all I have to it. So yeah, if you want to go a bit further, you can do like 15 minutes, but you don't really need to spend a half hour each day. Like I already mentioned, it's such a short phase, and when you get good at it, you can very consistently solve the cross in well under 5 seconds. However, this last tip will only apply to a few of you, but it will make cross a little bit better for you. So number 10, dual color neutral. So basically what dual color neutrality is it allows you to solve the cube on more than just the white cross every time. So say for example here, this cross case isn't very good. However, this one does look really good. These two are in their correct place, and we can just do that, and then just insert that, and that's it. So if you have a really easy cross on this, or if you have a really bad cross on this and this one looks better, then you can learn to solve the yellow cross as well. However, being fully color neutral is very difficult, and I wouldn't recommend it, because you have to learn new color patterns for stuff like F2L, when compared to just being dual color neutral, you use the same blue, orange, green, and red colors on that as well. And finally, the color scheme for the cross is different. It's blue, red, green, orange. Or if you hold it on the right, then it's the same blue, orange, green, red as the white. So that one's just a maybe. Some of you might want to do this. I believe it like saves half a move on average. See for yourself, see if you can do it. I don't think that being dual color neutral is super hard. But you can try that and include that in your practice as well, your 5 to 10 minutes. You might want to spend a few minutes on yellow cross as well. That is going to be it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. If you were a bit confused at all, just let me know what you have to say in the comments, and I'll try to answer any questions you have. Unless if there's like a million comments, then I won't be able to answer all of them. But that is going to be it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!